Well. World-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Life. Oh, Michael.
Hello, folks at home. It is officially launch week for Starfield. Yeah, that's right. We've made it, folks. It is launch week for Starfield, and it ain't looking good. Let me just put it to you that way. We are 3 days away from the early access launch. Is Todd Howard going to hit the home run? Or is it going to be a complete, total, unmitigated disaster? Well, right now it doesn't appear to be all it's cracked up to be, and that is so incredibly sad. And we told you for weeks, we told you for months that it doesn't really matter because ultimately at the end of the day, this is on Game Pass day one. That's what you need to know and understand. So even if the game is a complete, total, unmitigated, colossal disaster, failure, whatever you want to call it, it is on Game Pass day one. So really, you have nothing to lose here. I've told you that. You have nothing to lose here. However, with that said, you know, for a game that is supposed to be the biggest RPG from Bethesda, 25 years in the making, next generation only, Creation Engine 2, you would expect so much more, but unfortunately, we're getting less, okay? Believe me, folks, we're getting less, and it's the saddest it's ever been. In fact, this might be the worst Bethesda modern-day title in quite some time. I'm not even trolling, bro. It's the reality of the situation. It's how it was designed. And the Xbox fanboys are defending this left and right. They cannot handle the reality of it. They've seen the screenshots. They've seen the videos. They just cannot admit that the game is not where it needed to be. Todd Howard has quite clearly lost the... Well, why would you make a space game when you have an engine that limits you so much? It makes zero sense, believe me. The saddest it's ever been, I'll tell you what. So we have some new discoveries here today, and it's even worse than it ever was. Okay, and I'm not trolling, bro. People think I'm an Xbox hater and a PlayStation fanboy. I like quality games, and I like games that respect my intelligence, and I'm not sure if Starfield is one, to be quite frank with you. And it's so sad because this game had a lot of potential. This game had a lot of potential, but it was seemingly flushed down the drain thanks to the Creation Engine 2. But we're going to be finding out very shortly in 3 days as it is the Starfield launch week. And I'm going to tell you this right here, right now. We've been talking about this game for weeks and months. The marketing is abysmal. I mean, it is literally launch week, and we're still having that conversation about no marketing. And it's true, by the way, because officially Bethesda has only shown off 48 seconds of gameplay. And quite frankly, without the leakers, you wouldn't know anything about this game. So it really is the saddest it's ever been. And if you go to the Xbox website right now, guess what's not on the front page? Starfield, okay? They're advertising Armored Core and a bunch of other stupid, silly games that literally no one cares about. And I guess Starfield joins that list as well because we're here at launch week and they are not advertising Starfield. Saddest it's ever been.
Official source Troy super chatted.
You don't believe me? Go to the
$5.
Xbox website, buddy.
Oh, Mackle. It's majestic. It's enthralling. It's invigorating.
Well, they don't care.
It's
yeah, they don't care. I don't care if you don't believe me. I really don't care if you guys don't believe me. I've tried to tell you the reality of the situation, and I would be mad too. You know, I would be mad too. You waited so long for this game, years in the making. When did they officially announce this game? 2018? You've waited at least 3 or 4, 5, 6 years. And for it to come out and you have these boundaries on these planets that are just totally whack, it doesn't make any sense. You make a space game and you say there's no space exploration in our space game, then what kind of game are we making here? Because clearly it's not a space game. It's a total disaster is what it is. But, you know, here's the reality of the situation. It gets worse than this, and I'm going to let you in on a... It just gets worse. It doesn't get better. It doesn't just work. It gets worse. Because now I have learned... And again, we're taking this with, well, the game's not out. But we have learned today that it gets worse because you thought the boundaries were a problem. Well, unfortunately, there's something worse than that. So if you land, here's the reality of the situation. You guys don't want to hear it, but you're in here. So, you know, it makes zero sense. But when you land next to a city in Starfield, it doesn't exist. So, for example, if I land near New Atlantis, you can't just walk to the city because it doesn't exist. Ain't that a crock of shit? You know what I mean? I mean, that is terrible game design. I'm sorry, bro. So if you pick the surrounding area, because you can land anywhere on the planet, if you pick the surrounding area next to New Atlantis, for example, you won't see the city. It is a total disaster, folks. That's even worse than the boundaries on the planets. I'm not even trolling, bro. You think I'm trolling? I don't care. You can look it up for yourself. Type in Starfield leaks. The reality of the situation has become as apparent as it could be, and yet these reviewers want to advertise their reviews as if they know better. They don't know better. They're losers that are clout chasing.
Mercanium super chatted $5.
It's as simple as that.
Todd said unparalleled, it's over, baby.
Yeah, unparalleled freedom, by the way. That's a blatant lie because all of the planets, 1,000 plus planets, have boundaries on them. That's unparalleled freedom. I guess from Bethesda's viewpoint it is. And they're not even planets, you know. They're just basically grids. It's basically a flat Earth, a flat planet. You're getting a flat planet with a limited radius, but you don't care. And quite frankly, like I said just moments ago, what's even worse than that, if you land near a city, the city doesn't exist. Okay? If you land next to New Atlantis, for example, or whatever other cities in the game, it doesn't exist. Now, you want to defend that, that's fine with me. I don't care. That ruins my immersion, bro. If I select a nearby, if this is New Atlantis and I land right here, I should be able to walk to New Atlantis because I'm in the area. You can't do that in this game. Okay? And I don't know how these Xbox fanboys are going to defend this one because this is even worse than the boundary thing. It really is. Because it really wipes the immersion right out of the game. So if you land next to a city and you think you can just walk right over to the city, that isn't the case. So the way they designed this game is probably one of the worst things I've ever seen. And quite frankly, this is probably going to be the worst Bethesda title in a long time.
It's over!
For various reasons. I'm not trolling. It's a sad situation. Here we go. It doesn't matter.
Snurf super chatted $10.
Oh, man.
WWE is running their Sony shill campaign. Everyone knows Starfield is great. Boundaries are in every game. 99% of the leaks are made by a PS5 shill named
this,
Michael.
buddy.
All fake leaks.
They literally said
I'm not even going to tell you because you guys are so brainwashed in the head. I mean, like, you're drinking the Todd Howard Kool-Aid when the proof is in the pudding. You're drinking the Todd Howard Kool-Aid when the proof is in the pudding. Oh, the boundaries don't matter. Well, what about the fact that when you land next to a city, it doesn't exist? Tell me how that makes sense, buddy. The game is trash.
The real Michael Myers super chatted $19.99. I hate when they're flat Mackle. I like 'em thick.
You know, people want to joke about this stuff, but it's the reality of the situation. You don't want to believe me now? That's fine. You only have 3 days left. And then when your disappointment settles in, guess what you're going to do? You're going to cry and complain like, oh my God, this game is trash. Because there's no space exploration in this game. You think there's space exploration in this game? No, this isn't a space exploration game. There's no space exploration game here in Starfield. This is the worst game they've ever made, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, you're going to have to bear with me here. This is the worst game that they've ever made because what they've done is they've taken the seamlessness out of Skyrim, Oblivion, so on and so forth, Fallout 4, all of those games. They've taken the seamlessness out, and they put everything behind a load screen, a menu. It's the saddest it's ever been. I mean, imagine the Skyrim map. And imagine if you couldn't just walk to the mountain in Skyrim. Remember when Todd Howard showed off Skyrim and he came out of the woodwork and he said, well, you see that mountain, you can go there. Well, imagine if you couldn't go there. And imagine if you had to hit the start screen and spawn there, fast travel. That's Starfield. You can't just get in your ship and go where you desire. It doesn't work like that. The game is fake. Literally. And maybe that's like the ending of the game. Maybe it's all just a fucking simulation. Then I'd give it 10 stars. Because then it would make sense with the limitations. That's what I would do. That would be my ending to the game. Like, hey, this is all fake. It's like the Truman Show. You know, when your game starts to feel fake, you have to incorporate that into the storyline, in my opinion. So it's a sad situation. This is not a space game at all. It's really not. I mean, imagine if you look at the Skyrim map, okay, or Oblivion map, you look at the Fallout 4 map, okay, and imagine if they took the cities and villages and pulled them out of the map and placed them on different spots in a galaxy, and you can't just seamlessly go there. This is a terrible game. I don't know what they were thinking. Todd Howard was quite clearly over his head with these ambitious ideas to make this space game 25 years in the making, and quite frankly, had they made it 25 years ago, I think the game would have been so much better. You cannot tell me that this is the magnum opus from Todd Howard. Quite clearly it's not, folks. The shortcomings are there. It's the saddest it's ever been. You land near a city, it doesn't exist. I'm out. I'm sorry. The immersion is so terrible. And by the way, apparently the NPCs are downgraded. Apparently they don't even have names anymore. They're called citizens, and you just press A and they barely talk to you. I mean, it really is sad. And Oblivion has more advanced NPC AI than that. And they spent how much money on this game? $200 million. And by the way, Xbox isn't marketing this game still. It's launch week. Literally, the game comes out in 3 days, okay? You go to the Xbox website. They're not marketing the game. They're showing off Armored Core. They're showing off anything but Starfield. And I think that's a massive red flag. And don't listen to these stupid shills, okay? Those people are losers. You need to unfollow them. And I'm going to tell you why, folks. They're debunking these... They're debunking the screenshots, they're debunking the video, and they're saying, well, you know, you can't explore past the boundary. Well, sweetheart, you can't because that's not how the game operates. And what they're doing is essentially lying to you, and they're advertising their review, and they're saying, well, I have the truth. I've been playing it for 2 or 3 weeks. And they're saying, you come over to my website, you read my review they're basically saying, please click on my website and please read my review. When they don't have the truth is out there. The game is trash. The Creation Engine 2 couldn't handle Todd Howard's ambitious idea. And it's the worst it's ever been because you think about what Bethesda has really done here, and they made 4 major cities, okay, sweetheart? They made 4 major cities, and I'm going to tell you, folks, it's a total disaster because you could have put those 4 major cities in a map like Skyrim where it's all seamless, okay? But what they've done is they put it on different planets, by the way, and now you just start loading and loading and loading, and there's no space exploration in this game. It's the worst game I've ever played, quite frankly, from Bethesda. It's a terrible game. And it's the saddest it's ever been, I'll tell you. But you don't care. You don't care. So, alrighty, folks. We're going to go ahead and open up the lines. And I want to hear you guys defend this one. 818-824-4937. You can read the leaks for yourself, and it is a shit show, so. You can read the leaks for yourself. You don't have to believe them, but when I'm telling you that it's the reality of the situation, well, you don't care. And it's the saddest it's ever been, I'll tell you that. Hello, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? 818-824-4937.
Mike, this is low key, bro.
Okay, let me ask you this,
man.
bro. Let me ask you this, because I'm gonna ask you this question right off the bat. Apparently in Starfield, when you land next to a city, the city doesn't actually exist. Now, what do you think about that? Is that worse than the boundary thing?
It is. That's completely unacceptable.
Now you're just playing along, bro.
No, dog. Listen, Michael. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you can't even land next to a major city, that's a problem. That's a problem.
How so? Why don't you explain it in a way that makes sense? Because they're not going to listen to me.
Okay. Let's say if you want to explore the outskirts of the city, what do you have to do? Do you have to land in the city first?
I'm assuming
and then
so.
leave out
Yep,
of the
I'm
city?
assuming so. That's how it works.
Then what the fuck is the point of the ship? What is the point of the ship?
I told you
Michael?
there's no space exploration in this game. It doesn't exist. The whole fucking thing is so broken, discombobulated, and it's mended together, held together with duct tape. And the only people that are going to shill it are the ones that got free review codes.
Michael, I paid $100 for this game. You know that. I paid.
Well,
for the
you're going to
premium
experience
edition.
it in 3 days, and you're going to experience the boundaries. You're going to experience so much more.
Right.
I mean, the videos are
what
out
I'm
there. I mean,
saying
you can
is-
see tons of gameplay.
So what I'm saying is, Michael, I'm invested into this game. Okay.
Yeah.
And I am not liking what I'm hearing in the final stretches. It's just like, what? And it's just like, I just feel like all of this was kept secret because they knew the news was disappointing. They wanted to paint this picture of this seamless space experience when you're just fast traveling everywhere.
Well, they said unparalleled freedom, and it's something that I can't even comprehend. I don't know what happened with this game, but I'll tell you what, if the reviewers come
So
out, and by
disappointing.
the way, like I said, here's what we're going to do, folks. If the game gets a 90 or above on Metacritic, we have the hot chip right here. Okay, we're going to be consuming this right here. This is the brand new edition, the hot chip. So if the game gets a 90 or above on Metacritic, and we'll find out in 3 days, we will consume this, but I don't believe it will be. I don't believe it will be getting a 90 or above on Metacritic, but if it does, we're consuming the hot chip.
Mm-hmm. Listen, in Skyrim, right, to travel into the major cities, you had to go through loading doors. Like if you wanted to travel to
yeah, but that makes sense
Whiterun,
because it's all contained on one big,
right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
So what Bethesda has done here is even worse than anything they've ever done before, because essentially they've taken out the villages and the cities, the four major villages and cities. Think about that in Skyrim, the four major villages and cities in Skyrim, and they extract them from the map and they bring them over here to like separate instances where you have to load. Imagine in Skyrim if you looked at the main village and you couldn't just go there and you had to click start and then spawn. It's crazy.
Now, let's just make this perfectly clear to the viewers, Michael, that we do not know for certain.
Well, I don't know why anyone would lie about it. I mean, obviously the PlayStation fanboys want this game to fail. I know that narrative is really out there, but on the flip side, the Xbox fanboys are just as toxic, in my opinion. I'm not on any of those boats. I want a great game, and unfortunately, from what I'm seeing thus far, it doesn't seem like this is this is worse than Fallout 4.
Well, Michael, what I think is happening on the Xbox side is Xbox. These guys keep moving the goalposts. Every time you bring up a problem, they like, well, that doesn't matter.
Exactly,
well,
it never matters. So at the end of the day, literally nothing matters. They could just put out anything, and people are going to consume. Well, they're consumers.
They keep moving the goalposts, and it's like, okay, so when are we going to say this is a problem?
Well, the modders are going to get mad because the limitations are going to.
Oh yeah. I that dawned on me the other day about how our modders going to deal with a square space that they have to dude. It's just like bro, I just can't wait to play the game and just to see what type of Bethesda game is this.
It's probably the worst one they've ever made, from what I can see here. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You have all of this, and it's all discombobulated. It's all hidden behind loading screens and cutscenes.
Right.
And you're in menus. You're fast traveling more so than you're in the ship, and it's like, well, then why even make the space game? It just doesn't make sense.
Michael, you said this weeks ago, but I did not understand what the hell you meant. But it's like, what is the point of the ship if you're just fast traveling?
Because there is no space exploration. I need to make that very clear. I mean, that's very evident. You know, we've seen the leaked footage, and there is no space exploration. It doesn't exist.
Whew. Goddamn, Michael. Goddamn. Bro, we're only 3 days away, and now I'm just like, fuck, what is going on?
Well, I'm not saying you're not going to have fun with it. I mean, obviously, if you have low standards and, you know. But if you're expecting, let's just put it this way, if you're expecting a next-generation experience, you're not getting that here with this game.
See,
how can that be when it's not even seamless? How can that be when there's boundaries? How can that be when you spawn next to a city and it doesn't even exist? Now my intelligence has been insulted. Now my intelligence has been insulted because it's like, wow, I just landed near the city. I want to see what that's all about, and you can't because it's not there. You know, the procedural generation kicks in, and it does what it wants to do. So it is. The system they have here is just not how they should have approached this experience. And quite frankly, they should have toned down the ambitiousness of it because obviously they couldn't have pulled it off here. This is midfield.
Michael, it sounds like a Frankenstein game, like a bunch of patches of different games sewn together to make Frankenstein. Like, what is going on with this game, dog?
And that's where most people won't care because, you know, they want to consume something big, brand new and shiny. They've been waiting for years for this game. But if you're going to go in and you're going to be a little bit more anal about it, I mean, it is going to be an annoyance to some people, especially if you're used to the seamlessness of No Man's Sky where you can just go anywhere at the you know, you get right in your ship and go, and you got land vehicles, you got this, that, and the third. I mean, there's no boundaries in that game.
Michael,
I mean,
Michael, what I'm hoping that I don't say is, damn it, I wish they would have made another Elder Scrolls.
Oh, well, you know. At least it would have been seamless.
Like or at least I would have known what I was getting. Like you said about Spider-Man. You were dead on with that Spider-Man. At least those PlayStation guys know what they're getting.
Exactly.
I'm a lifetime Bethesda fan. I play every Bethesda game there is, dude. Even Arena, you know, and that was an obscure game. But this one is just sending so many red flags. Like, what is going on?
Because all they've done here is made 4 major cities, and that's the whole game. The rest are empty planets that are procedural ones and O's.
And now, Michael, they're saying that each planet only has like 2 or 3 landing spots. I'm like, hold on.
I believe you can land anywhere you want, but I mean, you might be limited to the things you can put on the planet, the markers or whatever.
Dog, it's just so fucking weird. 3 days, Michael. 3 days, dog. 3 days.
Man.
Moving the wheels, man.
All right, if you want to call in, 818-824-4937. A reminder, we're going to be live when the reviews drop. The review embargoes drop, and if it gets a 90 or above on Metacritic, we're eating this terrible hot chip that tastes like absolute slop. So I don't think the game will get a 90 or above, but the Xbox fanboys will probably prove me wrong. And if they do, we'll be consuming the chip. Where is the mouser? Where's the mouse? Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937.
Okay.
Holy shit.
It's not okay. What the fuck?
It might not be. I'll tell you what, bro. So first it was the boundaries. Now it's the fact that you land next to a city and it doesn't exist because the procedural generation is kicking in and it doesn't know any better to put the city where it should be. And holy shit.
So it's like, I mean, the way that
Jonathan Andrew has super chatted $5.
The way that
You are the Alex Jones of gaming. I love it. Sound crazy at first
try
and
think
always
best
end
case
up
scenario
correct.
is that it's like a tutorial mission that they were showing or something.
Well, that's the
And instead
narrative
of
right now
throwing
from
us-
the Xbox fanboys, that this is all tutorial, and they said the game, the leaks from like a week or so ago were that the tutorial is a long slog, and you got to spend 4 or 5 hours getting through it. And I'm not saying that's not the case, but man, if they really have put this behind a tutorial, it still isn't going to fix the fact that when you spawn in, the cities don't spawn next to you. So if you spawn next to a city, it's making an all-new grid, procedural generation
It's over.
style. So the
Right,
planets
the way
don't
that
even
I'm thinking about
exist.
that, it's kind of like if you're playing
Snurf
Skyrim
super chatted
and
$10.
you've got the map
Only
open,
virgins
Yeah.
you're
hate
doing
on
like
Betty
the
Taddy
fast
Howard's
travel.
opium
And
fueled
it would be like
greatness
if you
Starfield
jumped
El
to
Call
like
dudes
Fort
eating
Solitude
sausage and Ryan Downey
and
brownies
you,
with extra
you got
seething
to the
taddy
stable
penis.
outside of the city, and then you had to actually go into the city to get there. You couldn't walk from the stable to the city. Is that that's what you're saying?
Well,
You
let's
land the ship
go
down.
ahead. Go ahead and say it again, because they super chatted. They love doing that when I'm listening to calls.
Oh, it would be like if you were fast traveling in Skyrim.
Yep.
You went to a stable or like a tavern or something that was outside of the city limits, and you're saying that you couldn't walk from that tavern to the city. You would have to get back in your ship and then fast travel to the city. You have to get back on your horse and fast. Like what?
That's essentially what is seemingly going on here, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't even make sense what we're doing here, at all.
That's wild. That's kind of that part of it is kind of.
They literally they made 4 major cities, and they made 4 major cities, and well, that's the whole game.
It was basically. I mean, you know what? They would have been better off. I mean, I think the whole thing with like 1,000. I think the 1,000 planet thing was just a big gimmick. I think it was just it's procedurally generated shit. So I think it was just a big gimmick of like, look how much more is better kind of thing.
Yeah.
They would have been better off just making the 4 big cities and fully developing them and having you just be able to traverse to like the 4 cities. It literally is starting to sound more like Jedi Survivor than it is an open world game. It
really?
Kind of feels like in Jedi Survivor, I don't know if you played it, but when you're going from planet to planet, you get on the ship, and then you basically, that's your load screen essentially. You walk around the ship, you customize your lightsaber, you do all this shit, and then you walk to the front of the cockpit, and they enter hyperspace, and that's how you get to the next planet. And then you get a cutscene of the ship landing on the planet.
There's no way.
And you fucking walk around this, like in some cases, there's a couple planets where it's like this completely barren wasteland because they're just like, you know what, fuck it, just put everything on a desert. Then we don't have to animate anything. And then they let you ride around on a bunch of planet-specific creatures instead of in a Star Wars game getting on like an actual fucking like vehicle. And they can't let you get on a vehicle because you'd be done with the map in like 5 seconds. Because it's not big enough there. It's only big enough if you have to run and sprint and jump across the ground. You start driving, and all of a sudden the open world feels like just a big warehouse. It's I don't know. That's more what this is starting to feel like. It's just that you get to just jump to more maps.
Well, I think Mass Effect might be another great comparison too. In Mass Effect, you're Shepard in the big ship, and then you just look at the planets, and then you select, and then it does a cutscene, and I mean that's basically.
Right.
The extent here from what it looks like.
I thought this was like next level. I mean, the way it was being promoted, the way that they talked about it was that like these elements in other games were going to be improved upon, not reduced. And
well,
so
I would have been fine with it had there not been boundaries. I would have been fine with that had there not been boundaries. Like, okay, if you want to walk across the whole planet in a one take sort of manner, you could. You can't. And then now you land next to a city. The city doesn't exist. This is stupid.
That's kind of It just what is it like a facade in the background? It's just like a fucking JPEG that they planted.
No, it's nothing.
There's literally nothing there. Like it won't even.
It's a totally different world. Yeah, it doesn't even.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's fucking terrible. That's terrible. Come on. That can't be. I really hope that's not. I hope that's not real.
Well,
if you're literally saying that that they're going to let you they're going to let you land through
I
a
think
cutscene.
what's
Not even
happening
your
here.
lane.
I think what's happening here is that you load the city, and then from within the city you can explore until you hit the boundary. But if you're trying to load outside of the city and then go into the city, it's not going to work like that because the procedural stuff kicks in.
So then it's just basically they cram 3 different games into one game, and they're calling it. There's no seamlessness.
Oh hell no!
There's no.
Yeah, it's like I said. It's like you're playing Skyrim, and it's like, well, you want to go to the top of the mountain, you can, but you can't seamlessly walk there. You got to press start, and you got to spawn in and watch the cuts. You know what I mean? So it's just like
it's fucking Midway Arcade. You're going like one way you're going and you're playing, and you're like, okay, now I want to go play the RPG element where I'm playing Skyrim. And then it's like, nope, get rid of that disc, pull that disc out, put the next disc in. The next disc, I'm playing Elite Dangerous. Then pull that disc out. The next disc, I'm playing No Man's Sky.
Yeah, and I think the game is going to have an identity crisis. Yeah, I think the game's going to have an identity crisis. They tried to shove it all in here and just make it work. They wanted to do the space exploration, but then they didn't want to do it. They had to have the 1,000 planets in there because if they only had one solar system, that's not going to be impressive enough. So they came up with the grid idea of the procedural generation content. And it, from what we've seen, what we've heard, it just is not coming together.
Man, it's like the fucking best thing about this game is the controller.
Yeah, well, that's why they showed you more.
It.
That's why you were able to get the controller and the collector's edition. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have fun with this game.
Edition to get a smartwatch, like you get to get a fucking Fitbit. You got a Fitbit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Wow, dude. All right. Well, I can. At this point, I just hope that like Bethesda is just kidding, and that they sent out a bunch of review copies to people they paid to make the game look like shit, and some kind of ultimate troll on all the naysayers. Because
the reviewers are saying, "Oh, that's not the case. You don't know. We know. We've been playing it for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks." And, yeah, sure, they've had a ton of time with the game, more so than anyone. But there's no way that would be behind a tutorial. That makes no sense. And even if it is, even if the boundary thing is tethered to some prologue thing in the game that lasts like 4 or 5 hours, at the end of the day, you're still probably going to run into that problem where if you land next to a city, if I land next to this Mountain Dew can in Starfield, the Mountain Dew can ain't going to be there. Now, if I land at the Mountain Dew can and then walk away, it'll still be there in the background. So it's just one of those things where it just doesn't make much sense. But, I mean, I guess they had to figure it out in a way that did make sense for the creation engine, too.
I think what they did was they had a bunch of bullet points that they wanted to hit for when they I said it earlier that they started the hype train for the game before they even knew what the product was that they were actually advertising.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, they get these ideas in their head. They want to do all of this and all of that. And I honestly think back in the day, had they made this game, it would have made a lot more sense because, with the way the loading screens are and, the traversal, I mean, it just seems like a very, very 1990s game like that you would play on a floppy disk or something, a CD-ROM.
Have you seen any of the footage for the leak? Because I've watched a couple of the leak videos.
Yeah, I've seen as much as I can, and there's a ton out there now.
Is there anything from a first-person perspective? Because everything I've seen has been from the over-the-shoulder clunky cam, where it's like the fucking. There's a reason why the over-the-shoulder in Bethesda's game it never looks good. It always looks like a second-rate thing. Like, has any of the actual immersion first-person been shown? Because everyone is playing it on the third. I'm like, God damn, the animations. It's like I get that the physics, he's on another planet and shit like that. I get it. But, like, there's a fucking planet made out of oil. The guy is sliding across the animations look dated as hell.
Oh, yeah. And that's always been a problem with their games. And that's the thing with these games. It's like, that's my problem with Fallout 4 as well. One of my problems, it's like, well, that worked for Oblivion and Skyrim. Those were PS3 games on 360 and PS3 hardware. So it made sense why the shit was dated. But now when you come into the modern era, especially this is next-gen only, you're expecting so much more. And I, quite frankly, don't know if they've delivered much more.
I mean, it's going to be heavily modded, I guess, and I'm not saying that as an excuse. I feel like that's
they have these tiles to work with, but there is seemingly no way. Like the modders aren't getting past that if that's how the engine is if that's how it's architected. I mean that it's not a limitation they just put in there unless again it's tethered by the story. But it just doesn't make sense because, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a shit show. I'll tell you that.
I heard a rumor about the modding that with procedural generated worlds, it's incredibly difficult to actually create mods that take effect fully in those. So the mods may only be able to be applicable to like those main cities or like the main rendered worlds, because the procedural generation is going to affect how things populate and how things take in your system. So there's a good possibility that the mods will be restricted mainly maybe to the city areas, your built-in stuff, because you try to mod in something that's populating. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't seem. It hasn't worked in other games very well when they try to do it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, and the immersion is totally ruined. And apparently, there's a day one update now. I mean, hopefully that fixes everything. I mean, look, if they can fix these problems, I think that would be a step in the right direction here. But we won't know. I guess we just won't know until 3 days. So, but I really
you have to create. The mods have to create their own planets.
Well, there are no planets. It's just tiles. It's an illusion, which I mean it always is. To be quite frank,
planets,
in No Man's Sky there are actually planets. I'm assuming. I'm not a game dev. I don't know how that shit really works, but I mean I know you can walk around the entire planet if you want to in No Man's Sky, and it's all seamless. Right. It's all intuitive. It just works. And unfortunately, it's seemingly the exact opposite here for Starfield. So you have load screens. You have it's almost like a point-and-click game. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, had they made this in 25 years ago, it might have actually been better.
I think that they screwed up with the honestly, I think if they just kind of cut back the marketing a little bit, not in terms of not marketing in terms of the visibility, because the visibility is a shit show, but the actual like what they were saying when they were taking their talking points. If they would have just like refined it and not blew it up to this thing, it just seemed like sometimes they were saying things that were coming to them as they were answering the question. And they weren't really coming to it with like a game plan. It was just like, oh yeah, and then you can do this. Oh yeah, and then you can do that. And then this thing pops up, and then that thing. Oh, and then I just got this idea.
Yeah, and it just ruins the whole idea of like, okay, well, yeah, sure, procedural generated planets aren't all that interesting, and there's points of interest and stuff like that. But it's like, why even make this if you can't make it interesting, first of all? And secondly, why make it if you know the creation engine is going to limit you on what you can do and in terms of the radius of, okay, this is where the player spawns, and this is how far we can go before we're running out of memory or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense why this game was made in this way, but I guess it was the only way it could have been made.
Well, all right, man. I'll let you move the wheels. I really hope that I hope it at least, because I was at like a 10 on like the hype of it. I was excited as hell for this. I'm down to like a 6 after looking at the leaks.
Well, it's best you go in with. Well, it's best you go. I'm not saying cancel your pre-orders, guys. I mean, I don't want anyone to, do that. But I mean, I would say get some realistic expectations ready as we're coming into the launch here in 3 days, because, if you have lower expectations and you're still surprised, you'll be shocked. And if you go in with super expectations and it's not what you want it to be, or it's you'll be disappointed. So.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to cancel my pre-order.
Right. I that's not what I want anyone to do in here. I want everyone to experience this for themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I hope it does. I hope it's great. I hope it's amazing, because I really want to sink my teeth into a game that's going to last me for a couple months, instead of like these latest titles that come out where you're playing for like a month and then you're like, I'm done. You want something with a little bit of staying power, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
For the amount of time it takes for these things to come out, you don't really want to be done with it in 3 weeks.
That's what I'm
Either
saying.
Interest-wise,
that's what I'm saying. And I mean, look, this game for some people, I mean, it'll last them 500 plus hours easily. Every other Bethesda game does. But with the way the space traversal is, and just the loading screens, and just kind of the procedural content and the boundaries, and the city, you land next to the Mountain Dew can, it doesn't exist. You land to the Mountain Dew can, then you can walk. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. All right, man.
Oh yeah.
It's over.
Moving wheels. Have a good show.
I steal popular names for likes super
Hello,
chatted $5. I'm starting to wonder why this game isn't on the old gen consoles. With all the loading screens,
Yeah,
it
well,
does not seem
maybe at
very
one point. Well, I mean,
general.
they were developing it on, in 2018. I'm assuming they were at one point working. I don't think they have dev kits yet for. I don't know. I'm not a dev, so I couldn't tell you. But I mean, it certainly seems like it could have been a possibility on old gen hardware with all the loading screens. I mean, maybe that's what it was designed for, and they had to just ramp it up to the. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello. No, I mean, it's just crazy just hearing all this stuff. It just shows, I guess, in one way, how smart Phil Spencer really is, right? Because, I mean, they're selling this game with a smartwatch because it's so empty that they can just start making people run, lose some weight, get off the basement and go outside and just walk around with a watch to, experience Starfield, basically staring at nothing all day. Secondly, I mean, it's just sad because, when No Man's Sky came out, the very first version of No Man's Sky, right? The one everybody hated.
Yeah.
You can get into a ship, fly out in the sky, and do whatever you want to do, right? In Starfield, there was a leaked gameplay that was on Twitter this morning. You literally sit on your chair, and then a pop-up comes up to you and it says, hey, get out of the chair or fly into space. And it's all a cutscene.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You cannot fly physically into the world or whatever it is. Everything is cutscenes.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how people think that people are gonna be like, well, it's because the game is so big, It's like, no, that's freaking retarded, dude. That's not what they sold to us. They sold us, customize your ship. You can go anywhere, and you can even lift off the freaking planet. It's like, what is the point of this cutscene central? Like, it's very sad, man. Like, I don't get it. Where did the 10 years go? The 25 years supposedly, like, of pre-planning for this game, and the budget, right? Like, Xbox has been heavily investing in this for the past 2 years.
Right.
Where has all the money gone?
Well, not in the marketing. I mean, this is launch week, and they're not even marketing the game, and maybe they're not confident in it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the leakers have done more marketing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if the game hadn't leaked, no one would know a damn thing about this game because they haven't. The last time we've heard about this game was about a week ago when they had that live action trailer. And you go to the Xbox website right now, and it's not even on the front page unless you scroll halfway down. It is utterly ridiculous. This is launch week with their biggest game in a long, long time. You would think they'd be plastering that all over. Make sense.
And I mean, they're probably waiting for all the Xbox fanboys to give this out, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100 to make it seem like it's the best game ever made. But in reality, I mean, come on. It's like it just fails in comparison to an indie studio of 15 developers, right? They say there's 500 people working on this game.
Well,
right?
I don't know what they did. I don't know. What were they doing?
Like, they joke about the PlayStation fanboys, sitting in the theaters all day. Is that they want to do now for Starfield? Is just eat popcorn and watch cutscenes all day?
Well, that's what you're going to have to do because that's how it is. I mean, the gameplay's out there. You can look at it for yourself. It's unbelievable.
Maybe it explains why at some point it was going to get PlayStation 5 exclusive, right? But I thought we were going to Xbox and PC now, so I thought we were actually going to be playing some games, but I guess that's not the case. It's just, yeah, man, I don't know. It's every single day it gets closer to release, and it just gets worse and worse for this game. I mean, like I said yesterday, I still have it pre-ordered. I was actually reading into it a little bit after the stream yesterday, that even with Skyrim, there was limitations of the world, right? When they came out with the Skyrim DLC, they actually had to downsize the regular map to be able to fit the DLC map into the game. And that could explain why the Creation Engine 2 or whatever it is that they're using for Starfield has the space limitations, right? Because like with No Man's Sky, even though it's generated, once you land into the planet, that's your planet, right? It doesn't recreate the planet every 5 seconds. So, and I think, obviously it was a development choice from Bethesda, but who thought that this was a good idea, right? That, like you said,
it's over.
You go out of the city, and now you can no longer see the building. Okay, why do I even want to go there?
El Nini super chatted $10.
Well, it's just it's all smoke and mirrors. Like it just kills the immersion. I mean, it zaps it right out of the game. So any immersion you had in your imagination, like wow, this world is amazing, it's so cool, and it's this, that, and the third, you start to see the cracks when you deviate from the storyline. It's kind of like Cyberpunk, where it's like, well, you explore Night City and you start to see it's just a hollow husk. It's like, oh, it looks cool, but it's a hollow husk. There's no content. There's no depth. It's and unfortunately, I just don't know what the hell they were
Well,
thinking here with
even
this
if
thing.
that's the case, right? Like, and I get that part of like, hey, we have the handcrafted experience. Why make it an open world game, right? Why not make a linear story? If they want to tell a intergalactic storyline or whatever,
Yeah.
make it like just make your own thing. There's no need to have this generated stuff. But like I said, like you kind of lose all the experience if I go outside of the zone and I can't see the buildings from the distance, right? It's like you were saying with Skyrim. At least you could see the stupid mountains. Now
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's all seamless. It's all it's actually you can actually visit it, and it's like when you land next to a city in this game. I mean, from what we've heard and seen, the city doesn't exist, and it's just generating random stuff. Now that to me doesn't make sense because there should be a radius. They should have made it where there's a radius. It's like, okay, the city's here. If the player lands here or there, the city's still going to be there and they'll be able to travel to it. And unless this day one update fixes stuff, I mean, I don't know how big the day one update is. So I mean, maybe it makes all the leaks irrelevant. I don't know. I mean, I would hope that would be the case. That would be fantastic. Well, I mean, I doubt it too. But I mean, everyone's moving the goalposts around here. There's a big console war. Like there always is. There always will be.
It's not even about the console. I mean, I have a.
Well, it's not for me, but a lot of people do use it as ammo. I mean, there are PlayStation fanboys that are super upset, and they just, But I mean, genuinely, it's just like I don't know why you would make a game like this when they have the limitations of the Creation Engine 2, and the space exploration literally doesn't exist. There's screens and videos of it all in action, so it's just.
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, honestly. It's more about the game that they sold to us, right? They've been talking about this game for God knows how long. I think I've heard of this, like even PS3 era, we've been hearing about Starfield, right? Like, it's just, it sucks to see, like, for example, No Man's Sky, like an indie studio that's passionate about their game. They spent the last 7 years making, over-delivering on what their promises were for the game. And Bethesda just been going down and down.
Yeah,
and down,
and it's
right?
just you can't even like believe in the idea of it anymore when you play the game and you say, well, okay, you hit the boundary. What is that? Why are there boundaries? I just don't understand.
You lose the whole experience of the game. Like
that's what I'm saying. The whole thing is ruined. It's not because maybe you want to do that. It's because now you know. Now you know the planets aren't even planets. There's no planet. It's just a grid, and there's a radius of where you can go and where you can't. And then you have to reload the procedural. And I don't know if it stores it in the memory, and I don't know.
Well, like I said, you should look into the how the Creation Engine works, as far as like the map size and everything like that. It could be why that is a limitation, but it's so stupid. If that's the case, again, like why make
it's over?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the game would have been better had it came out 25 years ago on 1996 hardware.
Todd Howard just destroyed my space exploration fantasy, and
because I mean, essentially, this is kind of a point-and-click game from what we're hearing and seeing. There's no real space exploration. It seems like one of those Microsoft Windows 98 games, 95 games, where you kind of do the point-and-click FMV, full motion video. Like it looks like that's what this could have been.
Yeah. I mean, what Bethesda needs to do now before launch is just build a mechanic around this limitation and just say, hey, like, you're going to run out of oxygen if you're too far away from your ship. You need to go back. Like, I don't know. Come up with something, because seeing a pop-up come up, because, people are going to explore. Like, if you put the planets there, even
and the Xbox fanboys say, well, no one's going to play it like that. You're just a stupid idiot. We're not going to roam around the planet for 40 minutes and just look at nothingness. And it's like, well, just because you're not going to play it like that doesn't mean people are fucking going to put they want to explore every pixel of this fucking game.
Exactly. It's there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole point of exploration, especially if it's generated, it's different for every person. That's what they've been talking about this whole thing leading up to release. Like, oh, you're going to have different experiences. Well, it sounds like we're all going to have a blank map, and then about an hour later, we're going to get a pop-up on our screen that says teleport.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit the boundary, I mean, it's ridiculous. It ruins the immersion, and like I said, really the biggest insult to my intelligence is the fact that when you land near, like, let's say this is New Atlantis, you land near New Atlantis, not at New Atlantis, but near New Atlantis. You put the cursor as close as you can to the city isn't rendered at all. It just literally doesn't exist. So the immersion, it's not like you can just go in that direction and eventually you'll see the city. That's not how it works, at least from what we've seen and what we can understand right now. But if you
like
land
a
in the
whole
city,
different
then you can go outside of the city until you hit the boundary. So it's just, bro.
And honestly, more and more, it sounds like that's all we should be doing is just going to the handcrafted locations and exploring as much as we can in that area, and then just kind of leaving the rest of the game for the modders to pick.
And you know that was the best way to experience Cyberpunk as well. Stay within the storyline. Don't deviate too much because you're going to start to see the cracks. And when you start to see the cracks, the immersion starts to dwindle fast, and then you start to get disappointed with the game. And I'm not here to ruin anyone's hype for the game. People, they willingly come in here, so. And you know how we feel about the game. I mean, I can't not look at this shit and not say anything about it. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And if anything, like I said, we should be thanking the leakers for showing the information now because, I mean, we still have time. I mean, I'm not going to cancel the pre-order. I still want to play
the game. I'm not trying to convince anyone to cancel any pre-orders. I mean, I hope they don't. I want everyone to, because I know a lot of people are going to have so much fun with this game. I'm not, obviously it's a Bethesda title. Those last you a long time regardless. But, there are some caveats here, especially this time around, because it is seemingly a tad bit different than previous titles. In Fallout 4, it was pure seamlessness. I mean, you see it on the map, you can go to it. Now, in Fallout 4, I believe, they did have hidden loading screens, but it wasn't like it took you out of the experience. I mean, only when you went into interiors.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's what, it seems like maybe this game, one, is definitely on the wrong engine. They should have picked something else 10 years ago when they started building this and say, hey, this creation engine is just not going to cut it. But then we would have lost a lot of that Bethesda special sauce that everybody talks about, being able to, the dialogue and all this other stuff that makes a Bethesda game, great. We would have lost all that. But then is that a fair trade-off to be like, hey, now you can actually go to 1,000 planets, no matter how big they are, and just do whatever you like to do.
Yeah, and then people say all games have a limit. Okay, if that's the case, then why does No Man's Sky have literally a billion planets? And why can you walk across the whole fucking planet and it takes you literally 25 hours in real life? You know what I mean? No Man's Sky did this already. Yeah, it's boring as shit. But with that said, they've done it. And it's an indie studio. I mean, at least it was when it came out. So,
and in a way, that's space exploration, right? A lot of it is boring and it's empty. So it kind of goes in with the flow of
but I mean, it's like, well, you have to find a balance. It's like, sure, that's realistic, but is it fun? Because no one wants to roam around a planet and just look at nothing. I mean, it might be cool for a little screensaver moment, or you just want to look at the atmosphere of the planet or some fucking bullshit like that. But it's like most people aren't going to do it. So that's where the handcrafted content really has to shine, and the quests have to be really fucking good, and the decisions have to really matter, and that's where the game, I think, that's going to have to be the focal point of this experience, not the 1,000 planets, not any of the procedural generated bullshit, because that's going to be an afterthought for most people. Most people aren't going to go to the planets if they don't see anything interesting on them. Why would there be a reason to go there outside of looking at it and saying, well, the graphics are cool or whatever the fuck? You know what I mean? Because it just...
Yeah.
So...
Well, yeah, and again, that goes back to the point of, why even oversell your product and not just focus on what you do best, which is building the world and building the quest lines, right? Like, we're not going to be able to, jump into a different star system and jump into this planet and have any storyline. It's just going to be, like you've seen on the gameplays, you're, fighting dinosaurs or whatever it is, right? Like, there's nothing to do other than either looting or scavenging on those areas. So why have it in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. It's just I don't know.
It's sad. I mean, honestly, if No Man's Sky ever creates a sequel and they add RPG elements, it's like they've built a better Starfield than Bethesda has.
Truly, yeah. Because it is seamless and it does just work.
Yeah, and I think honestly the biggest letdown for me right now is the fact that we cannot get into the ship and actually fly out and explore with, it's very, not cutscenes, I guess it's the wrong way to say it, like loading screen heavy, right? You're making an action, but you're not actually doing it. You're just watching.
Well, everything is seemingly segmented. It's just like, well, we have this thing here, and this is what we're doing in this thing here. You want to get in the spaceship and fly it. It's like, well, we have this area here, and that's where it's, that's it. Again, it's another boundary thing where it's like, you know what I mean? It just.
Yeah, it becomes.
It's over.
7 years ago let you do that.
Infrazale
Regardless of how
super
big or
chatted
small the planets are,
$50.
you were able to do that.
Thank
right?
you for having faith in
So
Starfield. I give Todd Howard
becomes
ABJ
really
to
hard
market this
to,
game better, and I'm starry art. Keep up
yeah,
TH,
and
great work.
even on this guy,
You are like the
oversold
dad
like
I
it was
never
the second coming
had.
of Christ, and we
I
all
love
know it
you,
wasn't.
man.
Right.
But it still seems like in a lot of ways it's way ahead of what Starfield
Well,
is.
quite frankly,
No
Man's Sky just got an update like a week ago or some shit like that, and I think the sales for No Man's Sky, I mean, because people might not even know about it or they forgot about it, and they might say, hey, wait a minute, this does what I want, and it's not in Starfield, so I'm gonna jump over here to No Man's Sky, and it's like, wow, I can get my ship and I can just fly to that planet if I fucking see it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's hidden loading screens. I mean, I remember you turned on the turbo thruster thing, and it would smear the windows of your spaceship so you couldn't see outside because the game was secretly loading. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's still seamless, and it's doing it in a way where it's in the game. You're disguising the loading screens within the game.
It, right?
Yeah, you're not seeing fucking fade to black and load screen. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like Starfield looks like a game that should have been made in 1996 on the Macintosh or the fucking Windows 98 PC. I'm not even trolling. It's like that Titanic game, The End of Time or some shit. You like point and click through the whole Titanic, and maybe.
Yeah, and like honestly, like building the whole ship to watch it just stand still or watch it in a cutscene. What's the point of that, right? Like it's like, oh, you can make whatever you want. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna watch it stand still there in a cutscene. But what's the point of that too? Again, it makes all the gameplay aspects of Starfield just be like, I wouldn't say broken. Clearly, they work at some point, but it just doesn't do what you would think it does, right? You say you spent 2 hours building your ship, and then you're gonna watch a 5-second cutscene of it flying up the air. It's like, wow, so awesome. That all that hard work. I just don't get it. So it seems like a missed opportunity. But anyways, moving the wheels.
Hell yeah, bro. 818-824-4937. Someone's coming through. Thank you for having faith in Starfield. Well, our faith is a little, it was much stronger a few weeks ago, but now the lack of marketing rears its ugly head yet again. I mean, we're here at launch week, 3 days away until this comes out, and the leaks continue to pour in. And I'll tell you what, folks, it just is not looking all that hot. This is seemingly a mixed bag here, to say the least. It's very different in its approach.
Hello.
And I don't know if
How you doing this fine day?
Who is this?
Well, that's good to hear.
Who the fuck? Oh my God, bro. Hello? Well, now the Xbox fanboys are saying there's a day one patch out and all the leaks are irrelevant and all this shit. It's always moving the goalposts. Look, I don't want the game to fail. I'm not a PlayStation fanboy, okay? But you have to understand that this is just the reality of it. 818-824-4937. Let's try and get some other callers on the line here today. I know you guys can't handle it. But nonetheless, we're here. All right. We're going to have to close the lines down for a little bit because we have no callers. 818-824-4937. Pick up the telephone and tell me how I'm wrong, because I'm sure we're going to hear it time and time again. They removed the walls with a patch. Okay, buddy. Well, I mean, if someone shows that they've done that, then I think that would put me at ease. Very much so. But until that happens, not that like I said, it's not so much about like, yeah, I'm going to walk 40 minutes in one direction. I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? Unless there's a reason. But you have to understand, it's about the immersion. And when the player knows how the rabbit comes out of the hat, the magician has lost his magic. You know what I mean? Really, to be quite frank. So, you play these games to be totally immersed. You play these games to be totally immersed, and when you're not fully immersed, it starts to lose its appeal very quickly. So we'll see what the day one patch entails, but I think you guys are putting too much hope into that day one patch. This is the same narrative that happened with Cyberpunk. You're like, oh, Michael, game going to be fixed with the day one patch. this magical day one patch from Todd Howard and Bethesda, they're going to really deliver here. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, if they remove the boundary stuff in the 1,000 plus planets, I mean, that would be ideal. Obviously, no one wants the boundaries in there.
It's over.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey,
Mike, how's it going?
Names
Yeah.
for like super chatted $5.
So I just had a question for you.
If you fast traveled near a city in Daggerfall, you
Joe
can walk
Biden,
to the city
the
seamlessly.
Alrighty,
You
we're
can
gonna block
also
you. Thanks for calling
seamlessly
in.
walk to all the other cities. 1996
All right,
BTW.
first name, last name coming through. Not seeing it on the super chat here. Never mind, here we go. I steal popular names for likes coming through.
It's over.
Oh, jeez.
Death cited
Death cited coming
666
through.
super chatted $5. I would like to thank Xbox for keeping Crapfield off the PS5. So saddest it's ever been and always will be.
Yeah, I don't know why the
People
PlayStation
wrestling,
fanboys are mad about this. I mean, quite frankly, they should be celebrating and saying, hey, we don't have that slot field on our system.
For acquisition,
You know what I mean?
Wrestling,
Quite frankly, I think they should be celebrating. They're doing the opposite of what they should be doing.
For
They should be celebrating when they're
Chinese
seemingly mad about
people
Xbox getting this game here. If you fast travel near a city in Daggerfall, you can walk to the city seamlessly. You can also walk seamlessly all to the other cities. 1990. Holy shit. Well,
Hey,
I
Mike.
already said Krobcat's going to be probably coming back for this game. I think he's going to be coming out of the cave to show this one in a way that not many people want to see it, but I don't know. Yeah, hello, you're on the air.
Oh yeah. How's it going, Mike? How are you?
Yeah.
So I just watched a video of a new leak,
Really?
and man, that got me so hyped, baby. You can't even
Oh man.
imagine. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
please.
What did it show?
Okay. So you know that classic Bethesda feel when you're walking somewhere and then you'll have that NPC walking up to you, like running to you, like in a nerdy way.
Right.
Like it's so perfect. Reminds me of Oblivion, you know? Like
Yeah.
the Fallout 3. Like, and he automatically says something, and you're opening up to this dialogue system, which is so good, you know? It's classic, dude. I'm hyped. I'm really hoping you change your mind about this and get along in the constellation, bro. Come on.
Oh, get out of here. Bethesda's paying you to come over here and chill this slop. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937.
Michael, you must be fucking down bad to shield do-nothing Democratic talking points like it's going out of fucking style, bro.
Excuse you?
Excuse you? You insult Todd Howard? What's your name? Judas Does Life now?
Listen here, buddy.
Are you
You're a
fucking
New
with me?
Vegas shill.
Yeah, because it's a great fucking game.
And you really think that Starfield's going to live up to New Vegas?
Michael, Obsidian
Oh, here we
named
go.
New Vegas.
It's over.
Let's not get that twisted, all right? Now, that being said, Todd Howard has walked his ass up on
Paul bless
stage
the Yoon
for the
super chatted
goddamn trophy. And that's a fucking fact.
$4.99.
Listen here, buddy. You're
Zelda
such a
doesn't have
shill.
invisible walls. I
Oh,
can
am
see
I a
and feel
shill?
hers
Maybe I'm a
nicely.
fucking shill
Baby,
for greatness.
baby,
Greatness,
baby,
by the
baby,
way.
baby,
Boundaries
baby,
on
baby,
1,000
baby,
plus
baby,
planets.
baby.
Democratic talking points. Come on, man.
You
are
can pick your
better than this.
pronouns
You're
in this
fucking
game.
good.
You want to talk about woke? You can pick your pronouns in the game. And by the way, you can't undress the NPCs anymore because that's just too offensive in 2023. So don't sit there and tell me that this game is anti-woke when it's more woke than it's ever been.
Michael, how long has it been since we had a fucking RPG?
This is not an RPG. This is a point-and-click game from Bethesda that should have came out 25 years ago. Get it through the skull. Wait till you play this slop in 3 days. You can look at the leaks for yourself, and if you can't formulate an opinion off those leaks, then I don't know what to tell you.
Why would I want to spoil greatness?
Well, you better spoil it now so that way you can be prepared for disappointment in 3 days. What are you talking about, bro?
Prepared?
Dude, in Fallout New Vegas, you could, there was dismemberment. You can, like, pick up people's heads and shit and just, like, get weird and stupid and silly and all of that. You could, take all of the NPC stuff and, their outfit and it would disappear off their body. In Starfield, you don't... Oh.
Is it over? Is it really over for you?
Well, when you got 1,000 planets that all have boundaries, I mean, what's the point of playing the game?
Michael, There's so much to do in this game.
Yeah, but it doesn't
come the
matter.
fuck
Quality over
on.
quantity.
Michael, it's Bethesda. There's going to be some quality.
Yeah. Maybe just
Why do
call
I have
Obsidian.
to chill? Why do I have to come out here and actually defend the GOAT? You should be on his fucking ass right now in a way that makes sense. Not stabbing a fucking knife through him like Judas.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, and I'm the bad guy because I actually am trying to cheer for once.
Yeah, you're
Heaven
going to try
fucking
and cheer for
forbid.
mediocrity midfield, bro.
Midfield, is that now the narrative?
We're talking 1,000
Jesus, you know what?
boundaries.
A bunch of fat fucks
You can't
in
even
this
land
one
near a
ready
city
to
and walk
you.
to the city. Think about that, buddy.
The cities are massive, the biggest things they've ever created.
With lifeless NPCs, have you seen the leaked gameplay?
No, because I'm not spoiling the game.
Shut up! Spoil the game. Then prepare for disappointment in 3 days because Todd Howard has lost his mind. This is a point-and-click game in disguise. Unbelievable. 818-824-4937. Why is it so extreme with this game? You got haters that fucking hate every pixel of this game that it has to offer, and then you got shills that are just like fucking defending this bitch like they made the game with Todd Howard himself. Why is it so extreme? Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937.
818-824-4937.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, you're on the air. You're gonna have to mute. You're gonna have to mute the stream. The call is ahead of the stream. Oh, thanks for not understanding. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937. Oh, we're not getting. And you guys think that Max Payne remake is gonna be great? Modern day Remedy. You want to see Alan Woke 2? You have not. Have you guys seen that Gamescom gameplay? They're literally roaming around the streets in Alan Woke 2, and they're literally doing nothing. It is the worst game I've seen this year. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937.
This is a PS3 game. Todd Howard failed.
Get a real take and or call in. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937.
Let's go, Brandon. Fuck Joe Biden.
This is about video games, buddy. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937.
My name is Dave.
I'm going to close the lines if we can't get one quality caller on the air. 818-824-4937. Hello, you're on the air.
Unbelievable. I mean, just unbelievable. You know, you want a quality caller, and you got all these retards calling in. It's just... But the senator was great. I mean, he was very entertaining, as usual. How are you, Michael?
Well, we're here. I mean, it is Starfield launch week. You know, you guys have made it. And we're preparing for a launch. We're preparing for a launch here, and it is not looking. It is not looking like the ship is at 100% here. I'll just say that. So.
Well, you know what? I am kind of pissed off because I really expected people to. You know, I didn't expect them to drop the shill bucks. You know, I was expecting everyone to say this game is trash, and I was going to shill it. You know, I was prepared to shill it just despite these retards. I mean, you got Luke Stevens saying this game is trash. And
well,
now,
they all flipped the narrative. Yep.
Exactly. I mean, Dreamcast shill. I mean, that mouth-breathing retard. You were saying this was going to be a complete disaster, and now he said this is going to be an 85 on Metacritic. I mean, are we fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Can't we see that Todd Howard has opened his fucking wallet?
Exactly.
And I'm seeing the leaks, and yikes. I mean, Jesus, are we in 2023 or are we still in 20 fucking, oh my God. And I mean, I just don't believe it. You had, look, I'm not a fan of Baldur's Gate 3. I think it's a Coomer game. But at least in that game, you can throw little kids off a bridge. You can kill and fuck whoever you want. All fine. You know, you can do all sorts of shit. I think the gameplay is trash because I'm not a virgin. But then you compare it to Starfield, and it's like, what are we doing? 10 minutes you hit an invisible wall. I mean, what is this trash?
I don't know. I don't know what Todd Howard was thinking.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm done, you know. I really wanted this game to succeed. I wanted to get immersed in this world. I wanted to open this on my PC and just lose myself in this game. But if I'm walking in the city and I got all these robotic NPCs walking around and then I hit an invisible wall that says, "Oh, I'm sorry, mister, you can't go there. We didn't bother, building more map there," then the game is trash. Okay? I mean, at least mask it somehow, put something there, put the cops saying, "You can't go here." Don't put a fucking message there. I mean, oh my God. No, what did he say on the site? Unparalleled freedom, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What are we doing? Todd, please.
Well, hey, the day one patch apparently came out. I mean, maybe that will fix everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm sure they're going to have an animated show over in a year or so, and then they're going to have the 2.0 version, and that will fix everything,
Death cited 666 super chatted $5.
Oh I mean,
imagine
I can't
shilling
really
for
blame,
Snoozefield and hoping Todd Howard will give you a booty call. So sad, saddest it's ever been and always will be. People wrestling, Chinese for acquisition, people wrestling, Chinese for acquisition, people wrestling, Chinese for acquisition.
I mean, when you got retards like that as your consumer base, are you really going to put in the effort to deliver a quality experience, or are you just going to put out some slop that they will consume,
Yeah, I mean, it is, I mean, if you open up Blender right now, you see a plane, and that's basically that's what the planets are in Starfield. They're just, it's literally flat. I mean, there's no planet. Like, you can't even.
My God. And you don't even have a car, and you know why?
Well, that's why. Yeah, that's why, because you'll bump right into that invisible wall in, a few minutes.
Exactly. And look, this is exactly like Mass Effect. We were talking Mass Effect this, Mass Effect that. Mass Effect 1, it's the same exact garbage. You just drop on a planet, and it's like a little sandbox, basically. Four corners, you hit a corner.
Yeah, but at least in Mass Effect, it was kind of obvious that it was this little thing. It wasn't trying to be like, this, you know what I mean? It wasn't this like deceptive thing where it's it's this whole planet. You can just go wherever you want. You don't even. You know what I mean? It was blatantly obvious that it's this little patch of land and there's not much to do here. But hey, if you want to, fuck around, you can get the RC car and get inside and do the thrusters on it.
Yeah, and I think actually, I may be wrong, but I think when you reached a corner or something, the game would say, "You're gonna die" or something.
Really?
Conditions on this side of the planet is
well, hell, they should have called BioWare. They had that figured out back in 2007.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And what pisses me off the most is that we're still using these robotic NPCs. I mean, Mass Effect 1, I can give it a break. I mean, that was back in ages ago, and But now that the quality is there, you got fucking Last of Us 2 with these fucking insane animations on their NPCs and in cutscenes and whatever. But all these little fake gaming retards, they can't see that. They're too obsessed with the cutscenes because they're fake gamers. But then you put me, this is an immersive RPG, they say. How am I supposed to get immersed in your game when it's 2023 and you're still putting out these disgusting-looking Play-Doh fucking NPCs that talk like, "Hey, mister, welcome to the city. We are going to show you a good time in the city. Oh, here's a quest, mister." I mean, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's one of those things that it made sense for the 360 and PS3 era, and maybe a little bit for the PS4 era. But now that we're in a whole new generation, we expect so much more with the new power, and it's just not.
Exactly.
I don't see where that's at all.
Maybe we need the AI to do the work. Maybe.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I am sick. I am sick of these losers. Oh my God. Disgusting consumers, They come out here and they will sit on quality games because they're woke, apparently, Oh my God, they killed Joel. Game is garbage. I'm sorry. Are you retarded or something? You got being put out. I mean, yes, it's 10 years, a 10-year period. To wait for these fucking things. GTA 6, I bet it's going to be 11 years, But at the end of the day, they're going to put out a quality game, and you're going to shit on it just because, oh my God, I play as a woman. Buddy, when GTA 6 drops, you're gonna see why we wait for quality games, and while you're out there clamoring for more slop. RE4 remake, by the way. Huh?
Oh man. Totally forgotten about. I mean, you want to talk about a dead game? Like, bro, that shit is so fucking dead. It ain't even funny.
Yeah, and I mean, it exposes the hypocrisy.
Yeah, it does.
Because when Resident Evil 3 came out, they were saying that this game is trash. There's tons of good content and all this trash. And then RE4 came out, Capcom opened the shill books. They got Shill Hunter on their live stream. They got Shill Hunter on the live stream. And Shill Hunter was like, "Oh, no, I'm not paid to show their game, master. I was just invited." Give me a goddamn break.
Well, and the worst part about this... Yeah, and the worst part about this is that they come onto these shows, and they're doing this with Starfield now. Some of these Starfield guys have had codes for about 2 weeks now, but they're pretending like they haven't played the game. And it's just like... man.
That Luke Stevens and Dreamcast still actually think this game is good. They have been sitting on this game since day one. And now all of a sudden they turn here and they say, "Oh, Tom Howard, please fuck us in the ass. Give me a break." They don't care, these losers, they don't care. They just want to consume, but then they will shit on quality games. But you know what? Fuck them. Because at the end of the day, that they will make their bed and they will lie in it. They will reap what they sow. Because, as long as they keep supporting these garbage games like Cyberjunk remakes, you're going to keep getting trash. But you know what? They don't care. They don't care.
They certainly don't. They love it. In fact, they love it. They love consuming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that Resident Evil 5 remake, That's going to be amazing. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Anyway, I will be waiting for GTA 6 and Last of Us 3, which are going to be the games that will truly revolutionize the industry. Not this fucking slop that is stuck in the last century, okay? Anyway, Michael, any closing thoughts? I mean, are you? I want to see you play this fucking thing. I want to see you pull this fucking thing apart.
Well, it ain't gonna be pretty. I'll tell you that, because the Xbox fanboys that have just been on a shill session with this game and the Bethesda bots. I mean, it is. Well, they should be busy playing the game anyway. If they love it so much, they should be watching my stream of it. So they should be.
Oh my God! Yeah, but it is going to be something else, It is going to be. Oh man, I was excited for this game, But I've been looking at the leaks, and I feel like I'm back in 2010.
Yeah.
What?
It's over.
I just. You know what? Texas
Death cited
Massacre,
666 super chatted $5. Imagine
Let's go.
buying Crackfield and thinking they won over Sony. So sad, saddest it's ever been and always will be. People wrestling, Chinese for acquisition, 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 people wrestling, Chinese for acquisition.
Year. It ain't Resident Evil 4. It ain't Starfield. It ain't any of the other trash, they're putting out. Baldur's Gate 3.
You want a good game of the year? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, baby. Move the wheels, Michael.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Michael, what's up, man? I'm a big fan of your show, bro. I'm watching you live right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I got through. That's what's up.
Hell yeah.
Hey, a little bit off topic, but keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Hell yeah.
You're entertaining to all the kids, bro. All the kids like what you do, bro.
Hell yeah.
All right, bro. Let's keep the wheels moving.
Yeah, take care. 818-824-4937. Like we said, the latest leak showcases the reality of it. And it's quite unfortunate because, look, the boundary thing, it's like, well, who's going to really walk 30, 40 minutes in that direction? I mean, a lot of people probably will, just out of curiosity, However, with that said, if you land next to a city, it just doesn't exist. And that really takes you out of the experience. Because apparently in Daggerfall, that's procedural content too, but apparently in Daggerfall, they at least had that figured out. So I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Apparently the day one patch just dropped, so maybe we'll have more updated leaks or something like that. Have no idea. But we're going to find out shortly anyway in 3 days. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937.
Hey, Michael, big fan of your show.
Yeah.
I had a few questions, wondering what your thoughts were. When Todd Howard saying that this game was in development for 8 years, I don't believe it. I think it was only like maybe 4 years.
Well, yeah, I believe that might be a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, and I hope you do another stream when Spider-Man 2 comes out, because I just wanted to make that point that I bought the PlayStation 4 and I don't think it's reached its full potential. I have the PlayStation 4 Pro. And now I'm being forced to buy a PlayStation 5 just to play Spider-Man 2. So I hope you do a stream about this and talk about that.
For sure.
Thanks.
Thanks for calling in. 818-824-4937. She don't love and it's so sad. She don't love and it's so sad. She don't love and it's so sad. Who was saying 85 on Metacritic? Guys, here's the reality of it. Let's take a pause on the calls real quick. If you're just tuning in, well, the latest leak is even worse than the boundary one, because if apparently you land next to a city, let's say this is New Atlantis, and you land your spaceship right here, New Atlantis doesn't exist. You can't walk to it. And quite frankly, that is just too immersion breaking for me to not...
Snurf super chatted $10. To 6 will be worse than Re4R if you expect Grand Theft woke trash to be good, then you're the problem with the industry.
You want to say woke
Everyone
trash?
Wants
you
the
can't
game
even.
They want to give you the bare minimum.
This is. Listen here, you shill. This is the first Bethesda title since Oblivion. Maybe Morrowind had this. I don't fucking remember. But I know for a fact Oblivion had this all the way to Fallout 4. So from Oblivion to Fallout 4, how many years is that? Oblivion came out in 06. Fallout 4 came out in, 2014, 2015? I can't do math, but you guys can figure it out. Nearly 10 years. Nearly 10 years. And after the Super Chat plays out, we'll continue.
Snurf Super Chatted $10. Nothing but fake
you don't.
Here.
How are you going to defend this? Because from Oblivion to Fallout 4, guess what you could do? You hit take all, and you see something. The NPCs change because you can take their outfit, and the outfit is no longer on the NPC. Okay? In Starfield, you take the outfit on the NPC, it doesn't come off the NPC. The game is trash. Sorry. They somehow deem that to be too offensive. It's over. I mean, it's just over. And you guys want to defend this. You guys want to defend this. You guys want to sit around and say, oh, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't have, oh, you want to walk 30 minutes in one direction. Who wants to do that? Why don't you play the game like a real gamer? Shut the fuck up. Well, hell, you can't remove the clothes off the NPCs. That's good. You don't need to be weird anyway, Michael. That's a fucking dumb feature. They should have got rid of that long time ago. Well, we don't need to land next to the cities, Michael. If I wanted to go to the city, I'd land in the city. Shut your bitch ass up, Michael. I'm pre-ordering Starfield, motherfucker. It's just like, let's move the goalpost. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just keep saying it to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because that's what you've convinced yourselves at this point. Okay, so from Oblivion, maybe even Morrowind, I don't know. Do we have any Morrowind chills in here? Please inform me how great that game is, because we might have to go fucking play that instead of this. Look, at the end of the day, from Oblivion to Fallout 4, all of them in between. From Oblivion to Fallout 4, all of them in between. We're talking nearly, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. 9 years, however long. You could hit take all, and the NPCs, the outfits would come off the NPC. It's no longer the case here in Starfield, okay? And if you want to sit around and say this isn't woke, well, this is the most woke thing they've ever produced. So it's the saddest it's ever been, because they can't have that. You can't have the NPCs in their underwear anymore. That's deemed too offensive in 2023. So let's just keep the outfit on, but you can put it in your inventory. Yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. So I don't know what's going on with this game, but I'm going to be quite frank with you. This is not going to score 90 or above on Metacritic. And like I said, if it does, and it won't, but if it does, if Starfield scores a 90 or above on Metacritic, and we're going to find out this Thursday, folks, we have the hot chip right here. Sealed, brand new, 2023 edition. If Starfield gets a 90 or above on Metacritic, we are consuming this hot chip right here. And believe me, it's not something I want to do. But, however, with that said, the reality of the situation is that I just don't believe that it is going to score a 90 or above on Metacritic. So we'll see. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and resume the calls. 818-824-4937. I don't want this game to fail. I'm not on the PlayStation fanboy side. So if anyone's running with that narrative, they're a loser. Because I'm not a PlayStation shill. I think they have a lot of woke movie games that are very boring. Cutscenes, God of War Ragnarok is a total snooze fest. But with that said, you do have Baldur's Gate 3 coming out on PlayStation, PlayStation 5 console exclusive for the time being. And quite frankly, that game doesn't... well, it gives you more freedom than this. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937.
A great man once told me to never surrender, and I'm not fucking surrendering.
Okay, then go in and be disappointed, buddy. Then go in and be. How are you defending the de-evolution?
The de-evolution, by the way.
Okay,
you know
so defend this, buddy.
Game.
Defend this, buddy. When you hit take all, their clothes don't come off anymore. You can't be in favor of that now, can you?
Have you actually seen proof that happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really?
Well, that's what the leaker said.
Well, the leakers.
Oh, here we go. You're just gonna
Sony faggots.
What?
Want this game to fail?
Yeah, I know that, but that's not why. No, you're not understanding.
Okay, well, I'm in
so
the
you're gonna
classroom.
you're gonna defend it. You're gonna defend it. They thought that was too offensive.
Michael, I got to see it.
I am not trying to
it.
ruin hype. I'm just trying to tell you the reality of what has changed and what is and isn't in the game, according to what we know right now. And you know, again, they apparently just put out a day one patch. Maybe that changes everything. I mean, I doubt it, but that would be great if it did. Hello?
I need to know if there are specific circumstances in which I can and can't remove clothes. I think that's fair.
Well, you just can't. It's not a feature anymore. It's just not a feature anymore. Now, look, does that make or break the game? No, but what's the mentality behind it? Is it too offensive now in 2023? I mean, we had it in Fallout 4 just a few years ago, 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Maybe their priorities were on something else. I don't know. I have not spoiled this game for myself. But you know what I do know, Michael? It has Oblivion-level dialogue, which is awesome.
Wow, we're going back to
I'm
2006.
Not talk about the positives.
There aren't any.
There's literally none, really.
Well, I mean, it's more of the same. I mean, if you want more of the same, sure. But, I mean, in terms of space exploration, it's basically a point-and-click game in disguise.
A point-and-click, by the way.
It is! You got to hover over the planets and press A and then press fucking X to launch. That's how it works.
It's not a point-and-click.
Okay. Oh, well, I cannot wait until you call back. Hey, listen here, buddy. I can't wait until you call back this Friday. And, oh, man, your tone of voice is going to be – and I'm not trying to, play doomer out here. I mean, it's just – but it's like if we don't tell people the reality of it, then –
But, Michael, a lot of these – I'm sorry, a lot of the fakes – the leaks have been fake.
No!
How am I supposed to take that in good faith? How am I supposed to take that in good faith?
Not everything is fake and manipulated.
I don't know. There's been tons of debunking already of all this shit that's
from
coming
the
out
Bethesda bots.
Bullshit. Really, dude? You can clearly tell it's not even from the game.
But you can't tell me. You can't sit here and tell me, and you can't sit here and tell me that you're expecting this to be on the new Vegas level. Like, there's just no way.
No, because that was when gaming was great. All right, we are in a fallen state.
Oh, here we go. Now you're gonna play Doomer.
What are you talking about? This is the first RPG we've gotten since Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Define our
quite clearly.
Hold on. Kingdom Come. You really think this game's gonna be on that level? Kingdom Come.
Well, that's a great game, but no, because it's a AA studio, and guess what? They lambasted that game too. Any fucking RPG that actually has freedom of choice, it seems that these fucking Sony know-it-alls always come out of the woodwork and bash because none of their titles give you that freedom. That's how it looks to me. As somebody that has a PC, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm fucking trying to say, world class, is I'm finally fucking getting an RPG that has Oblivion-level dialogue.
But what is a role-playing game?
Huh?
What is a role-playing game? Can you define that real quick? I mean, what would you consider a role-playing game?
Okay, are you asking me for, like, check boxes that need to be checked off? Or are you asking me for titles?
I mean, what is a role-playing game?
It's something in which you are a part of the world. There's times that you can affect the world. There's other times that you're damned if you affect the world. And that's kind of how life is. It's like role-playing.
In Fallout 3, remember that mission? I mean, I don't think you're a big fan of Fallout 3. Maybe you are. But in Fallout 3, remember that mission where you talk to that guy and he says, come meet me out in the desert, and he's got, like, this big proposition for you, and it's like he hands you this thing, and it's like you press the button, and the whole fucking thing, your choice is actually, it's like, well, the whole town's gone.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, let me just tell you this, buddy. You really think you're going to get something like that here in Starfield?
If I don't, I would then come back and say Todd Howard has lost his touch. But I firmly believe.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: what do you think? What do you think about the Metacritic score? I mean, what? I mean, I don't know if you care enough, but what do you think this is going to get on the Metacritic?
Well, can we? Okay, let's be good faith here. Yeah. I've already seen zeros from Sony ponies putting that up on Metacritic. Now, if you're going to sit here and say that doesn't affect the overall score, we should just move the wheels to another topic.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. I wasn't listening. Go ahead again.
Oh.
Well, I was drinking my Mountain Dew.
I understand you're a busy man. I get it. World class. I was saying that the Metacritic scores, you could already argue, are negatively being affected by dishonest Sony pony reviews.
Well, I meant the critic score, not the user.
Okay, well, I see it scoring definitely 90 over. Oh. There's not even a doubt in my mind.
You're trolling. You think this is going to get a 90? It's an overglorified point-and-click game.
In 25 years. If you don't think the industry is going to put that on a fucking pedestal, I must be smoking some really good shit right now. Do you really see this game in the 70s? It's Todd Howard.
It doesn't matter. He's lost his touch. It's time to throw the towel in.
Well, that might be true, but if you can't be honest on the fact that they want this game to succeed, they need new IPs. The industry is fucking bleeding from the inside out. I know you've noticed this, Michael. They are going to champion this game.
Yeah. Well, I know there's two extreme sides. You got the PlayStation fanboys that are so upset they can't get this on PlayStation 5, and then you have the Xbox fanboys that are just, in the honeymoon phase, and this can do no wrong, and they see the leaks and they say, well, this isn't how it's going to be when we play it, and all of this stuff, and it's like, look, I understand they're in denial, but it's like, bro, how you really think people are faking videos? Like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? It's like there's video clips of the fucking game in action. Like, I don't.
Well, Michael, like I said, I'm being genuine. I've avoided all leaks as much as I can.
Well, I can't wait till you call back in. You're in that honeymoon phase. It's going to be a great time.
Oh, it is. It really
it
is.
really is, ain't it? What are your plans? You got a lot of time to play this because you might need it. I mean, Todd Howard put so much time in his life into this game. I mean, you should get some time aside and really dive deep into this one, right?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Well, all my help has up and left me.
Oh, it's
over.
over.
So it's definitely going to be late day hours I'm playing this game. So needless to say, yes, I'm going to be pumping. I'm hoping I'm staying up until 3 or 4 a.m., maybe 2 hours of sleep at most.
Yeah.
And then getting right back into this.
Well, there you go.
You know what I mean?
And I want to hear from you when this game drops. I want to hear that take. Very curious to see.
Oh, I believe it. Unless some weird shit happens with my collector's copy, I'll be getting it. I don't care, man. I'll get it fucking through Steam if I have to play this shit 5 days early. I don't give 2 fucks.
Here we go.
I have been.
Let's go.
I have been seething, Michael. We've talked many times on the air about how I long for RPGs, and literally nothing around the corner. I know you said Baldur's Gate. I fucking get it, man. It's probably a great game, but it looks great with friends. I know that third-person, first-person games like Kingdom Come, like Bethesda titles, that's what I long for, and this is another one, okay?
Right.
That's why I'm fucking hyped.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Todd Howard and all of his sweet little lies are going to come to fruition in a way that makes sense. You know it. I know it. And you know what, Michael? I'm not surrendering until I fucking see it for myself.
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right, King.
Alrighty, 818-824-4937. The number is on the screen, folks, if you want to call in. And right now, the launch for Starfield is just days away. It's a launch week for Starfield, and a lot of people are really looking forward to this game. Some people are not looking forward to this game. Depends on which side you are on. But nonetheless, it is coming, and it is coming very soon. Starfield launch week, and according to the leaks, well, the game might have a few shortcomings, so we're going to have to wait and see. Apparently, there's a day one patch up now Not sure what that entails because the game isn't out, but maybe that fixes all of the problems that are seemingly popping up here before the actual launch. So we're going to have to wait and see here. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just have a question about the early access.
Yeah. Okay, it was so predictable, bro. Oh, man. 818-824-4937. We didn't bring the battery extender, so we only have 21% on the battery, so that would probably give us another 20 minutes or so left on the show here today. But again, if Starfield gets a 90 or above on Metacritic, we're going to be consuming the chip, and we're going to learn all about that very shortly here. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Michael, it's Duncan.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, we're here.
So I wanted to talk about Starfield. So, leaks. That 10-minute video, it's like fake. That's fake. There's like 9 cuts in it, but it takes 40 minutes. Like it takes 30 to 40 minutes to get to that boundary. Somebody cut the video to make it look like 10 minutes, but it actually takes 30 to 40 minutes to get to that boundary.
Well, there still shouldn't be boundaries. So, I mean, I don't...
Exactly. I know, and I don't know why people are, like, that doesn't matter. It's a fake video. Who cares? But there still shouldn't be boundaries anyways, even if it takes 30 to 2 hours to get to that boundary. There shouldn't be a boundary. And like you said, I got to ask you a question. If you go to the big city Atlantis, can you go out of the city without traveling to somewhere else, or
well,
are you
it sounds like you can. I mean, but if you spawn in next to the city won't be there. But if you it's a really weird thing. And again, maybe the day one update has ironed some of this stuff out. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, it doesn't sound like.
Doesn't sound good, eh?
Well,
That's like unacceptable to me. Like, if you're gonna make a city, you gotta make it. It's a big city too, so you should be able to see it from afar. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, they should have worked around the procedural stuff and had sort of like a safe zone for the city where it's like, well, what if the player spawns over here? The city still needs to be in the backdrop. Just glue it into put the JPEG in or something. I don't sell the illusion at least. Jesus.
And like, so like the 40-minute clip, there's like nothing on the planet. He's running and you don't see anything. All you see is the sand. And
well, I think that was Planet Earth, and I think Planet Earth is a desert. So I mean, yeah, they're probably that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing with this game. It's like, yeah, a lot of the planets aren't going to have anything on them. I mean, it's like it's supposed to be like real life space. So.
And I don't know if this is going to happen, though, but I think they should have, like, Easter eggs or something, like, where you have to go, like side missions, like, cool, like, space missions that happen, like, in real life. I feel like they should, like, you get, like, a suit or something, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, but there should be, like, events up in space that happened on Earth. Something like that, like, that you go hunting. I don't know. I feel like they could do something like that, like the Apollo mission or whatever, something like that. But to me, it's looking like there's not. To me, it's looking like there's going to be main missions, side missions, and then exploring. There's not going to be like any cool stuff to do. I feel like it's going to be straightforward.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, the day one patch, I don't know what that's going to do to the game. Like,
yeah,
with that 40-minute gameplay, it doesn't look like there's any major bugs in the 40 minutes. But the space combat looks pretty cool at the end of the 40 minutes. Like, the space combat, first person here, that looked really cool. And, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, because if this game fails, then what is Todd Howard going to make next? Or is he going to even make a game next? Because if this only lasts a week, then, like, look at Hogwarts Legacy. That was hyped up to the moon, and then it died down within, like, a month. Not even. And with Starfield, there's no marketing. But all
Well,
the
yeah,
Sony
if you go to the
fanboys-
Xbox website right now, last I checked, it wasn't even on the front page.
Yeah, and like
It's launch
I see
week.
what Bethesda's doing.
Yeah.
I see what Bethesda's doing. They're making everyone that hates the game, that are shilling other games, like Sony fanboys. They're making them talk about it, like the big live streamers. They're making them talk about it, and like you see all these other live streamers hating on the game, and it's just giving the game more and more and more marketing. Like I see what Bethesda's doing with that.
Yeah.
They're letting the streamers that don't like Xbox hate on the game, and then that's giving it more attention. And then I like what Bethesda's doing with that. I really like that because it shows that gaming is one-sided. It is one-sided.
Yeah.
If you like one platform, you don't like the other. If you like the other platform, it's one-sided. And like I don't know, like if you like PlayStation, you don't like Xbox. That's most of the people now.
Yep.
I think all games should be on every platform. Like I was saying this in chat. If Spider-Man didn't do as good as it did, I think it would have got ported. If it didn't, I don't know about that though. But if it didn't do as good, I think it would have got ported to Xbox. And like with Starfield, I think it can get ported to PlayStation, but if it doesn't do as good, like if it dies within a week, a month, I think it will get ported over to PlayStation within the next 2 years. I think that could happen. That's a very high possibility. And then, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like with launch day, it's gonna be a lot of hype, but I think the hype's gonna die down within a week after launch. And like I like what Bethesda does with their games. They don't try to draw money from you. They don't add a lot of microtransactions. And like most of the developers these days, studios, they make games unfinished, throw them out, you buy them. And I feel like every game's a cash grab right now. Every game.
Yeah.
And
It's over.
Look at the battle royales. They just like get money from these kids.
Yeah.
Like, this generation's like frig, man. Like people are over here spending $100 on V-Bucks in Fortnite, like when you could be buying like new games. And like that's what people don't understand. Is like there's a bunch of these games that are coming out, but the younger generation, teenager generation, is stuck playing battle royale shooter games and buying, like, wasting money. And like they're all cash grabs now. And like I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. Like I don't spend any money on DLC unless I want to or it's good. Like Dying Light 1, I bought all the DLCs. That was such a great game.
Yeah.
I love that game. And like there's some developers that put out games, take their time, they're finished. Like The Last of Us 1 PC port, that was a cash grab.
Exactly.
It came out unfinished.
Yeah.
Like they just wanted to get it out, get money off of it.
Yeah.
And
all right, thanks for calling in. We got low battery out here, so we got to keep going here. Otherwise, the battery's going to die on one caller. Hello, you're on the air. We got 15%. Hello, you're on the air.
Mike, this is low key. One more time, fam. One more time.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man. There's a mod for all my Bethesda people out there, right? There was a mod called Open Cities. Okay, somebody figured out how to make the world and the cities seamless. Why didn't they hire that fucking guy?
That's a good question. Yeah, but does it work? Does it actually work? Or
no, it's seamless. The mod is called Open Cities. You go to Whiterun, you open the goddamn
wait, hold on. Let me ask you this. Didn't Skyrim just come out on PS? Didn't it just get re-released a few years ago?
It did.
Does that version have the loading screen still when you go into the cities?
Yes, it still does.
God, bro.
But the thing is, Michael, there's a fucking mod called Open Cities that will literally make the whole of Skyrim seamless.
Well, how did they figure that out?
I don't know, but they need to hire that guy.
That guy's here. Yeah, he'll have to come back for this game here. to remove the
It's
boundaries.
like, how did he figure that shit out and Bethesda couldn't?
It's a great question.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I don't know. They should hire those people.
Open cities. Chat, y'all know what I'm talking about. The
Right.
mod is called Open fucking Cities. Moving the wheels.
Hello, you're on the air. Yeah, hello, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Mike? My name's Mike too. Big fan, by the way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just calling to let everybody know, man. This Starfield joint is a big deal. I'm not even gonna lie. They definitely lied and said that you're gonna be able to explore everywhere, you know. But besides the fact, I think this is what I think. I think that the game is not gonna be a flop. And the reason why I think that is because of mods, bro. Think of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim is one of the most populated modding communities to date right now. You feel me?
Yeah.
So all I see from this is just the modding community going crazy. Think about Star Wars. Everyone loves Star Wars. The Star Wars mods is going to be retarded. And that's all I got to say.
All right. All right. Last round of callers here. We're at about 12% here on the battery, and then that's going to do it. 818-824-4937 if you would like to call in. But right now, the Starfield League, apparently the day one patch is out, or a brand new update for Starfield is out, so maybe that fixes all of the problems. I doubt it, but maybe it does. We just don't know. Couldn't tell you. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Michael, it's Ryan again. I got it. This shit with every time somebody makes a comment about how the game is not going to be good or whatever, or it's going to be good, and then people come in and fucking have to be like, oh man, this is a Sony guy or this is an Xbox shill or all this shit. It's like, I got both fucking systems.
Exactly.
My PlayStation 5 upstairs is a glorified 4K UHD Blu-ray player at this point. There's nothing on it that I'm playing. There's nothing that I'm looking forward to playing or anything. My Xbox downstairs is the only thing that's getting any love right now because Starfield's coming out. That's it. I want the fucking game to be good, but there's a thing where when you're looking at it, you're like, you know, you start to get a little bit skittish when you see shit coming out like these leaks that don't really showcase anything that gets you jumping. It's just, I mean, it's not a console war thing. I'm sure there's idiots that are going out there going, oh my God, if you're talking shit about this, you know, the fucking Sony fanboys are doing this and they're just sad that it's not on their system and all this shit. I mean, Jesus Christ, I've been gaming since the fucking I'm old. I've been gaming since the late 80s. And I've had systems that I missed and games that I didn't get to play because they were on a different system for fucking generations. Never once was it like, oh, that's a shit game because it's only on Super Nintendo, or that's a shit game because it's on. That's ridiculous. Like everything is cyclical. It all comes back around. If a game, there's always a chance that you're going to get a port of it or whatever, and it has almost nothing to do with the success of the game. A lot of times, it just has to do with licensing initiatives between these developers. So I mean, all the stuff with the nonsense between the console war stuff is just noise. At the end of the day, you look at what you're getting in the leaks, and it's like, I don't know about it, but there's a couple things in the game that if they're able to deliver on, I'm willing to be like, all right, well, I got that, but I didn't get this.
Right.
Like, I'm going into it with an attitude of it's not going to be everything that I want it to be, but it still might be enjoyable. And I think that's all you can really do at this point. I mean, we're fucking 3 days away. We'll get it. We'll see it soon enough. And then the whole fucking internet will break because if it sucks, people are going to tear it down.
Oh yeah.
And if it's amazing, some people will still tear it down.
Yeah.
Because people are going to hate no matter what. But I mean, at the very least, it'll showcase maybe something as far as how maybe new IPs are treated in the future. Maybe people will be a little bit more supportive of it instead of trying to tear it down immediately. So anyway, man, move the wheels.
Hell yeah, man.
I'll talk to you
Take
later.
care. Alrighty, last two callers here. Hello, you're on the air.
What's up, Michael? How you doing, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think people should temper the expectations when it comes to Starfield. Because Bethesda has never released a game that doesn't have $1 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm more interested in that Baldur's Gate 3, to be honest with you. I think it's a superior game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think about all this stuff that's going on? What are your thoughts?
We're just going to have to wait and see. I mean,
you're going to play it at launch? You're going to play it at the early access, or?
Yeah.
Nah, has to pass, man. I've been gaming for too long, to get it doesn't get me again. Not this time.
Yeah. Alrighty, thanks for calling in. We got to go. We're running low on battery here. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah!
Thanks for calling in. Hello, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I just wanted to call in. And there's something I didn't hit on, and that is the fact that you got these losers
saying, oh, if the game sucks,
you just have to install mods. Buddy, if I have to install mods, the game fucking sucks, period, okay? You don't... These blue-headed fucking balding-ass fucking women, by the way, making these garbage fucking games. They can't make games. Well, maybe they shouldn't, Get the fucking virgins out of the basement and put them in the fucking studios making these games. Because if I have to install mods to fix them, then these games are trash.
Hello, you're on the air. Yeah, hello, you're on the air.
Starfield's the game of the year.
Thanks for calling in. All right, one last caller here. We're going to wrap this one up here. One last caller, then we're going to wrap it up here, and we will find out how Starfield unfolds in how many hours? 72 hours? Maybe a little bit less or more. Can't tell you. Couldn't tell you. Hello, you're on the air. 818-824-4937. Hello, you're on the air. Thanks for calling in. 818-824-4937. Hello, you're on the air.
It's over. You're gonna die.
I am not. All right. That's going to do it.
The real Michael Myers super chatted $9.99. I love Stain.
That's what we're talking about. So like I said, a 90 or above on Metacritic, and we will be consuming the hot chip. I don't personally believe that Starfield is going to get a 90 or, and I'm talking about the critic score, by the way, 90 or above on Metacritic, and we will consume the 2023 hot chip. And believe me, this is not what we want to consume, but that will be on Thursday. So early Thursday, we will be doing a show, and we will be covering the reviews. But in the meantime, the latest leaks, do not seem all that encouraging in certain aspects, and that is a tad bit disappointing. So we're going to ultimately have to wait until the game is out. And again, it seems like Bethesda has deployed the day one patch or some new updates, so that could be encouraging. But what that entails, very few people know. So we're just going to have to wait and see, folks, and hope for the best. But if we have to prepare for the worst, I guess... Well, it's on Game Pass day one, and that's what I was saying earlier in the show. I said, well, if this is a colossal failure, if it is a total disaster, it's on Game Pass day one. So it is a blessing in disguise that it is on Game Pass day one. But nonetheless, the game is coming soon, very, very soon, in 3 days, and we will find out then. But that is going to do it for today. We do appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show. And with that said, it's over.